Junction, Trois. Fade out. Hey, what it is? What are you doing here? Good to see you. Always great to see you. I have a really packed show today, so we're going to try to stick to the facts, not any distractions, and anything that can get in the way of absorbing a nice information sandwich. Nice information sandwich is what we're going to absorb. So I got to get a few things out of the way, and I apologize in advance. The first thing I want to get out of the way is that you should be visiting my website, not only because it's the best place to go through all my videos, as I've said before, consume my content, which I realize now is a pretty weird thing to say. So I don't say that. I'm going to avoid saying that as much as possible from here henceforth. This is my website. It's a great place to see my videos, but more importantly, there is exclusive content on there, and there will be more. I just did an exclusive behind the scenes studio tour. In fact, this is it right here. It's called Behind the Curtain, and I just want to play you something that I found really funny. I left in the how I have to get started for my video. Watch Doshi here. It's pretty funny. Watch this. He's taking his places. What it is, guys. That's pretty funny, right?
This is a very exclusive sneak peek behind
shut up, Nathan. God dang, that guy talks a lot. So anyway, I thought it was funny that it was like he took his cue. He knew the show was starting. I have no idea when how he shows up for the show every day, but he's always there, sleeping. Oh, he's got his eye open a little bit. He's keeping an eye on things. Okay, so moving on, I just have to chastise you guys a little bit once again, just for just let me down a little bit in terms of your research. I've been posting segments called LTV Rewind, which are classics being resurrected for today's times because they're still relevant. And that is because Lift the Veil doesn't go stale. I have 100 more videos. They're all like this. Well, better than this. This one's probably a little boring, but it gets good though. I have a bunch of other videos, over 100. And in any case, I just left clues there. I wish you guys would see them. LTV Rewind 2016, 1,000 subscribers. Hater Appreciation Day. Now, everybody was like, you don't have 1,000 subscribers. Even though everything I was talking about was old news, I was in a different location, and I dated the darn thing. I mean, how many ways do I have to show you guys? So shame on you. Do your own research and do it better. Now, I just want to quickly address Reddit. I made a request in a previous video, one of the MS 804 videos, the Egypt Air flight, and I asked people to go on Reddit, vote for my stuff, and see what happened. We'd see if we can get them up. So let me just give you the results of that currently. This one, Egypt Air Conspiracy, the victims, that one's up to 4. It's got a little over 20,000 views on YouTube. So, and probably, 10 people came back to me and said they voted for it, and probably a bunch more did. So that's unusual. Moon landing hoax is at 2. And then we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 6, 0, 2. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it might even have gone down further. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So this one just went from 4 to 3. This one, I guess, went up from 2 to 3. Man, it's crazy. This one was at 3, I believe, this Brussels hoax, the arms trader witness, where I show the guy from not Northrop Grumman, but one of the big military contractors, expose him, because I'm a shill. 0, 0. Anyway, so that's that. I am suppressed, which you can take as you'd like. I think it's a reason to listen to me, but I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't, and I'll start that right now. Okay, so I've been watching this video, and I've been going through it frame by frame, and I showed you guys something with the shadows yesterday that I found peculiar, and I still do, but you know what? this is debunction junction. You have to look at yourself first before looking at others. And I'm going to go ahead and say that all you people have been saying it's a remote control car with a doll in it. You know, I don't think it is still, but I can't prove it. I don't think I can show you anything that would convince you. But I see it. It looks like it to me, but again, I can't prove it. I'm going to show you some things though that will should open your mind up, if it wasn't already, to this being modified, this video, and this vehicle being different from the way it appears the way it appears in the designs. So I'm going to show you that, and thank you all for your comments. Just shows you I listen. I really do. Except when you're a jerk, you know. I just don't like it. You know, we don't have space for jerkwads. We don't like you around, you know. Either, you know, be nice, be reasonable, or go home. That's what I have to say to you. But thank you all for your input. And even though I'll tell you you're wrong 10 times, in this case, I just can't say for sure. So I talked about the shadows last time, and I'm going to show you the problem that first occurred to me here when I looked at this again and looked again at these shadows. Now, if you look at the right side of this picture and you look at this rock here, right? You see the shadow on the rock is going directly right to left. And you'll see that on all, as the shot pans to the right, you'll see more of those type of rocks. If you look at this footprint right here, you see a very dark shadow on the right-hand outer inner edge, which indicates, again, sun is coming from right to left. You'll see something odd in this picture, and it's going to be introduced again when I show you the worst part of this, the real kind of smoking gun, I would say. See the left side here? If you put a line right here on the diagonal, you see how the total landscape changes. All of a sudden, there aren't any shadows apparent. There's hardly any detail apparent compared to the right-hand side of the shot. And now I'm going to show you how the shadow is not where it should be if the sun is coming the way it is in the right-hand side of this picture, right to left. So you'll see here the rear wheel, which I believe is not the way it appeared in real life. I believe that is somehow modified. Less, I believe, is modified than I used to think. I think this is a real model that is definitely not a modified or post-production Jeep. I think it really runs similar to the trainer models they had on Earth. And take a look at the shadows. Look at this here. This is where I started to wonder. I said, why, if the sun's coming right to left, the shadows should continue going all the way to the left. In fact, you should have shadows definitely coming off the front passenger side wheel. On the left-hand side of the picture. See this? Look at that. No shadow over to the left side of this wheel as we look at it. And in fact, you have shadows almost going left to right. But if we look at it this way, remember this guy down here? Remember this guy with his, whatever this is, this shadow looks like maybe a cameraman? See how he's, again, left of this right side of the picture. He's in the area that seems to be lit differently, and the light is coming on a diagonal like this. A lot going toward the horizon, a little bit right and toward the horizon, okay? And that is the way the shadow appears on this vehicle. You see that? That is not a right to left shadow. For sure. I mean, you can look at it. Look where the suspension shadow is here. You wouldn't have that at all. And then this flap, the shadow's right underneath it, as if the light is coming the way we would think it would be coming to light this thing in the foreground with that type of shadow. So that's definitely a major problem. I mean, you can see right there. You can really see it right there. The shadow should be left for certainly. This flap here, this gold flap, should be have a shadow way over here to the left near the front passenger wheel. So that's a big problem, and I'm going to show you why. Because here, watch as he crosses over. He crosses over onto the side of the set with different lighting. I'll tell you what they did here. As far as I can tell, they did a real interesting trick. But look how the shadows now are going to start going in the correct direction again. See how they're trailing behind the vehicle and trailing behind the tires? So you can see it's lit right here. Yeah, there you can see it trailing the car. And hold on, I forgot to show you one thing. There. So the flap, here, take a look. He's kind of crossing over from this set to this set. I'll try to show you what I'm seeing there in a second, but look where the shadow is for the flap. See how it's way over here to the left? As if the sun is coming from the right-hand side, the correct side. So that is super peculiar. Now take a look when he comes back the other way and crosses over that threshold again. Okay, so I'm going to start right here and take a look in the foreground. You can see these rocks, again, casting a right to left shadow, and look immediately at the rover and the shadow, particularly from the high gain antenna, that satellite dish. And it makes me think it's really there. Again, giving more credence to y'all's argument. But watch this shadow. Okay, see, it's very clear. Right to left, you can see the satellite dish right here. And he's about to hit that threshold, the threshold between the two lighting sides. And this is that line right here that I'm going across. Now, I'm going to play it. And here, he hits it. And see this? Okay, I'm going to look at this. Watch the shadow. Now, that's where it is there. And watch as it gets near that rock. This rock right here. Watch. Oh, boy. Watch this. Watch the shadow suddenly skew. You see this? It's turning. And then right here, it gets, see right there? That's right at the boundary line too. You can almost see it more clearly now that you see where the shadow is shifting. See this? It suddenly breaks up. And look at this when you zoom in on it. Look how there's no real detail to it either, as if there could have been some editing there. It's hard for me to pick out editing in general so far, but take a look at that and take that into consideration, Your Honor, and then watch as I see as he crosses that threshold. Look at that shadow, how it's totally distorted now. And now as you'll watch it, just keep your eyes on that. We'll keep the focus there. Watch it shift where it was. It's going to suddenly become there. Look at that. You see how it's going? Now it's going this way instead of going this way. You know, that's completely inconsistent with the lighting we see on the right side of this picture, which indicates that the lighting changes from the right side to the left side. I can't tell you why, but I can tell you it does, and I'm going to show you even more something even more interesting about what happens along that boundary as the car crosses it. But take a look, so you can see the shadows have completely changed. Now the light is coming directly from this side, looking straight at it. No longer is there a shadow in front of the car at all. So now I told you I would show you something really interesting, and this is quite interesting. Watch this. I'm gonna go through it. See, I was looking at the top of the car. I was looking up here to see where they could have edited this thing out, how they could have done it cleanly, and it turns out I should have been looking under the car. So watch this and see if you see anything. Did you see anything funny there? Let me show you what happens. It is really, really interesting. So he's crossing over that boundary right now, okay? Watch the dust. So this is the boundary right here. Watch the dust starting right now, okay? Right here, okay? You see this line? So watch as that stays right at that boundary, that line of dust. It has a defined line, watch, see that? And it's staying right at that boundary. Look, you see that? See how it's not moving? Here's a footprint as a reference right here. You can see a little shadow from it, and that should be right at the boundary. So I'll go back, see how it's staying right at that footprint? Look, watch this. See how it's staying right there? And watch this as the whole rear tire suddenly, for no reason, really, gets covered in dust. And then again, at that same boundary line, look, watch the tail he kicks up. You see that? And I'm going to play it again just so you can see how unusual that is. And it's right where the split is, as if he might actually be changing sets. I'm going to go through it now. Here, there it starts. See? There it starts, and watch it. See how it's like and there it kicks up right there. You know, that rear wheel, I was looking at this a bunch and I couldn't figure it out. But watch it get covered with dust, and it doesn't look right. You see that? Why did the rear wheel suddenly get covered in dust? It was to hide something. And I gotta say that's what I think. Right there and over, and it stays on that line. Particularly, look at that. See how it's right at the same line. And as I go back in time, it stays there. See that? And that could have been painted. You can see it carries up into the rover a little bit, so they could perhaps hide something behind there. So that's to me, that is something. That's really something. And the shadows alone are really something as well. You know, I'm going to wrap up this Debunction Junction. I got more, but I want to keep this one short, and because it's the best evidence I've presented so far, and I think it stands alone as a debunking the debunkers. So that's what's up. That's what it is. Take care, y'all. Be good. Be nice to other people. Make people feel good, because it makes you feel good. If you want to argue with me, that's fine. I'm wrong a lot. But you have to come into the conversation willing to admit that you might be wrong. And if you're not ready to do that, then we're not going to have a productive conversation. So I recommend that approach from here forward. All right? Peace, y'all.